come back, okay?
All right, Judge Kraft, we're ready. Oh, here comes Ms. Thornton.
Good morning. This is Veronica Thornton.
Good
Great.
morning.
Thank you for joining us. We got everybody here. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and the first thing I need to do is to read our statement of necessity. According to TCA 844-108B2, if a physical quorum is not present at the location of the meeting of a governing body, then in order for a quorum of members to participate by electronic or other means of communication, the governing body must make a determination that a necessity exists. Such determination and a recitation of the facts and circumstances on which it was based must be included in the minutes of the meeting. Furthermore, TCA 844-108A3 defines the necessity as, quote, matters considered by the governing body at the meeting will require timely action by the body, that physical presence by a quorum of the members is not practical within the period of time requiring action, and that participation by a quorum of the members by electronic or other means of communication is necessary. This is the regularly scheduled meeting for the Private Probation Services Council. The purpose of today's meeting by teleconference is to discuss the legal report, we have one action matter, and other normal business. There's one complaint that will require the council's action before the next council's meeting in March. It's in the best interest of the council and all the parties to have complaints resolved quickly. Waiting until the next meeting is unnecessary and puts parties at a disadvantage by waiting 3 more months to have a proposed resolution to the complaint. While the council needs to address these issues, the physical presence of a quorum of the members is not possible at this time due to members' schedules and the expense of traveling. Therefore, the council has determined that it's necessary to allow participation by teleconference. So that due to the impossibility of having a quorum of members physically present and the need to address the legal report and other regular business in a timely manner, the council believes a necessity exists that requires this meeting be held by teleconference. Do we need a roll call vote on that?
Yes, Judge Kraft, and actually I need to call roll for the meeting.
All right, so let's call the roll, and then we'll have a roll call on that necessity matter.
Perfect. Chris Kraft,
Present.
Klein Lauterbach,
Present.
Linda Byford,
Present.
Stancil Ford,
Present.
John Hudson,
Present.
Hugh Harvey,
Present.
Veronica Thornton.
Present.
Okay, you have a quorum, Judge Kraft.
Thank you very much. Do I hear a motion that we adopt the fact that there's a necessity for us to meet by teleconference?
This is Commissioner Ford. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
And I'll second it, Judge Lauterbach.
All right, any discussion? All right, would you roll call vote, please?
Yes. Chris Kraft,
Aye.
Klein Lauterbach,
Aye.
Linda Byford,
Aye.
Stancil Ford,
Aye.
John Hudson,
Aye.
Hugh Harvey,
Aye.
Veronica Thornton.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
All right. Notice of meeting, Ms. Whaley?
Yes. This meeting's date, time, and location have been noticed on the Tennessee Private Probation Service Council's website, included as part of this year's meeting calendar since August 16th, 2013. Additionally, the agenda for this month's meeting has been posted on the council's website since November 20th, 2014. This meeting has also been noticed on tn.gov's website.
Thank you. Before we ask for review and adoption of the agenda, I want to welcome our newest member, which is Linda Byford. Welcome, Ms. Byford.
Thank you, Judge Kraft. I appreciate this honor.
All right. Linda works as a probation officer at the Department of Correction, and she is taking the place of Dina McCullough, who was on this board for this council for several years. And we welcome you, and I'm sorry that our first meeting you're with us for is by phone instead of in person. Next time we meet in person, we'll greet you, okay?
That's perfectly all right. We're in the process right now of all going next week, several of us, to be trained for our firearms training. So this is so welcoming to me that we can do this by the telephone today. So,
right, I'm teaching an ethics CLE right now, and I told them I was going to take a half-hour break.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go.
With that, everyone has received, I trust, a copy of the agenda. Does anyone have any suggested changes, or do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda for the meeting today?
I move we adopt it as it's been presented to us.
Is that Judge Lauterbach?
Yes, ma'am.
Second, John.
All right. Any other discussion? Roll call vote, please.
I'm sorry, Judge Hudson, was that did you have the second?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And let's all state our names for her. It will help her. All right. Let's take a roll call vote on the adopting the agenda, please.
Okay. Chris Kraft,
Aye.
Klein Lauterbach,
Aye.
Linda Byford,
Aye.
Stansel Ford,
Aye.
John Hudson,
Aye.
Hugh Harvey,
Aye.
Veronica Thornton.
Aye.
Motion carries, sir.
All right. We have the minutes that we've received from our last meeting, which was also telephonic. Are there any suggested additions or deletions from those minutes? Do I hear a motion to adopt the minutes from the September the 5th meeting?
Commissioner Ford. So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Hugh Harvey, second.
Thank you, Judge Harvey. Any other discussion? All right, let's take a vote, please.
Chris Kraft,
Aye.
Klein Lauterbach,
Aye.
Linda Byford,
Aye.
Stansel Ford,
Aye.
John Hudson,
Aye.
Hugh Harvey,
Aye.
Veronica Thornton.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
All right, Mr. Richardson, the legal report.
Yes, we have one complaint to discuss this morning. It is case number 2014-018-071. The respondent in this matter is a limited liability company registered to provide private probation services. The complaint alleges that the owner of the registered LLC and one of the LLC's staff gave contributions to the re-election campaign of the judge of the court for which the private entity provides services. The complaint alleged that these contributions were in violation of Rule 1177-02-.04. Upon review of this matter, it was found that an officer of the LLC also contributed to that same judge's campaign. Additionally, the owner of the LLC contributed signs to a candidate for the clerk of court's office. The candidate is a government employee. Respondents stated that the individuals made the contributions in their individual capacity and that the LLC itself did not contribute. Additionally, the individuals gave to re-election campaigns and not the judge or clerk individually. Respondent has stated that its employees had no corrupt purpose or intent. And the rule at issue is Rule 1177-02-.04, Conflict of Interest, which states that no private entity that provides probation services may give or offer to give anything of value to a governmental employee. There is no prior complaints for this respondent. My recommendation would be to close, because while both the judge and the court of clerk in this matter are state employees, there is no proof at this time that the respondent LLC gave anything of value to those persons. The rule specifically prohibits a private entity from giving or offering anything of value to a governmental employee. The private entity is specifically the entity that contracts to provide private probation services to a court. As the rule only applies to the entity, this prohibition does not flow to employees or officers giving contributions in their individual capacity.
All right, if I could ask a question, in the facts of this case, the entity, the corporation, didn't give money, just the person who, a shareholder in it?
Yes, just the owner and another officer in their individual capacities.
All right. And I understand they benefit when the judge uses the organization, and I guess that's the question that it's kind of an ethical question in a way, but you feel under the applicable law that that's proper?
Yeah, under the rule, it only prohibits the entity, and since the LLC didn't give anything of value, then it wouldn't necessarily violate this conflict of interest rule.
Any other questions from a member of the council?
I have a question. This is Veronica Thornton. I have a question. If the owner of the private entity contributed the money, say in his individual capacity, is that not the same thing as the agency gaining benefit from his action?
Well, it wouldn't be the same as the LLC contributing, because they are different, legal entities, the individual and the LLC.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. but it seems like it's really vague to me. A company cannot contribute anything. The person that owns the company or the person that runs the company has to contribute. Now, the check was probably written by the owner, in his individual capacity or whatever. But it really looks close here to me. Does anybody else have an opinion?
I guess looking at it, this is Judge Kraft. It's constitutionally, I know, the CEO of Exxon can contribute to a presidential candidate, whereas they couldn't take a contribution from the company. Now, I guess the difference here is this is a partnership. I think it might be, or a sole proprietorship, it might be an issue. But since it's a limited liability corporation, I think legally, I mean, it doesn't smell good, but I think legally, that's probably the corporation is different than the shareholders.
Theoretically, the judge is not supposed to know who gave him the contribution in the first place.
Right.
So theoretically, I mean, we're dealing with the issue of the probation provider, but theoretically, the judge is not supposed to know, so they couldn't curry favor by doing it.
Yeah. Well, actually, now the judge used to not be supposed to know, but now the judge has to sign the campaign reports, and so they can't help but know.
Except we've always had to sign those blind.
I usually just used to sign them estimate form only, but I'd have people come up to me and I never got a thank you note from you, and they get mad at me, and I said I didn't know you gave the money, but I don't know. I mean, I guess legally, I guess that's okay, but I can see where there could be a lot of potential for abuse there.
Well, I agree with you, Judge Kraft. It doesn't smell good, but a technicality in that the agent, or the private entity, the agency itself, there was no money taken from it, but still the people that contributed the money benefited in their professional capacity, I believe.
If the judge was biased toward them because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all the questions I have.
Right. Anything else? Any other discussion?
I have lots of opinions, but I'm going to have to abstain from the vote because I think that's from around my area.
Okay. All right. We'll make sure and abstain when it's your turn. The last meeting when I was voted to be chairman again, I abstained from that vote. All right. If there's no other discussion, do I hear a motion to adopt the recommendation of legal counsel?
John Hudson, I so move.
Is there a second?
Commissioner Ford, I second.
All right. Any other discussion? All right. Let's take a vote on the motion.
Chris Kraft?
Aye.
Klein Lauterbach?
I have to abstain for the reason I just stated.
Yes,
All
sir. The record will so note that. Linda Byford?
Aye.
Stancil Ford?
Aye.
John Hudson?
Aye.
Hugh Harvey?
Aye.
Veronica Thornton?
Aye.
Motion carries, sir.
All right. Ms. Richardson?
All right, that is it for the legal report. Next, I had a little update on the rules. If you remember, a couple meetings back, we had some rules that discussed certain military applicants, and they were originally filed with the Secretary of State on September 5th, and the original last day to request a hearing was December 4th. But in mid-October, the department discovered that there was an error in the filed rules, so those rules had to be withdrawn and then refiled. So the corrected rules were refiled on October 29th, and so now the corrected last day to request a hearing, and if no hearing, it would be the effective date is January 27th, 2015.
Thank you.
All right, and then the next thing is the apprenticeship bill. Public Chapter 881, passed last year, requires that all boards, commissions, and councils create a report about the feasibility of creating an apprenticeship program. I've written a response for the council, so I'm going to read it all for you now, just so you're aware of what we'll be submitting. Sorry?
All right.
The Private Probation Services Council is created through TCA 163901 et sequitur. The purpose is to ensure that uniform professional and contract standards for all companies that provide misdemeanor probation supervision, counseling, and collection services. TCA 163902. The registration is not a professional license requiring specialized training or experience. The registration program was created to ensure that these businesses meet certain minimal qualifications, including maintaining insurance, professional and contract standards, and that the registrant's employees do not have a criminal background. Providing probation services to courts is a business of a character that could easily harm the public if not carried out in a professional and ethical manner. The qualifications for these entities could not be equated to an apprenticeship. Therefore, no meaningful apprenticeship program could be created to allow those who wish to register with the department to begin work sooner. So that is the draft of what we will be submitting. So I just wanted to let you know, and if you had any comments or questions about that.
And we received this in our packet. Does anyone have any question about this or any comments or requested changes? All right, I don't think we need to vote on this, do we?
No, I don't believe so. I just wanted
Right,
to
just-
make you aware and see if you had any suggestions.
All right. I sure don't. I don't know how we can make this an apprentice position, and I don't think we would have any applications. So, I appreciate that.
Okay.
All right, then that concludes my legal report.
Thank you very much for a very short legal report. Seems like we're all doing well not to have any other complaints. Ms. Whaley, you want to give your administrative report?
Yes, I just have one item. I've included your financial information through October 31st. The council is doing well. No concerns to bring forward at this time. I believe at your March meeting we'll have the annual budget presentation from the deputy or assistant commissioner.
All right. Any questions about the report, about the budget? I know we said years ago when we adopted the payment that the defendants would pay for quarterly information that at some point when we had a surplus, we would try to cut back on that, and we keep being told by Governor Haslam's administration that now is not the time to cut a surplus. So in light of all the new legislation about taxes and things like that, at some point we may need to bring that up, but I don't think we need to now. Is there any other business any member wants to discuss? Any new business? All right. Well, I very much appreciate everybody's being available today. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn. Judge Lauterbach.
All right. Any other discussion? Let's take a vote.
I'm sorry, who had the second?
Veronica, I second that motion.
You don't need one for a motion to adjourn.
I didn't think
We don't?
No.
All right. Well, then let's just adjourn.
Well,
All
you can vote on it, but you don't have to have a second. I don't.
All right. Let's vote then.
Everybody say aye.
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 Thank you all very much.
Thank you,
very much.
everyone.
Thank you.
Have a nice
All
Christmas.
right. Good holiday.
All right.
Bye-bye, Christmas stuff.
And Ms. Whaley, when do you want me to come by and sign whatever I need to sign?
You're welcome to come anytime this afternoon. I'll be here.
Okay, I'll try. I'll be there about by 2 o'clock. Is that okay?
That is fine.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right.